Welcome back to the podcast, Shalloners. Well, as you know, here on this channel, we usually break down celebrity scandals, breaking news, stuff like that. But on the podcast, I answer the best questions you guys came up with over the last week and submitted to me. And if you want to submit a question, have a one-on-one session with me, you can find me on my website, shallonlester.com. But here, on the podcast, we learn from each other. No Kardashians needed, no celebrity fuckboys, just the good old-fashioned non-famous ones that are in our lives. But before we begin, welcome. Let's do our relaxation ritual, okay? So we're gonna start by dropping our shoulders, centering our mind, unclenching our jaw, taking our tongue from the roof of our mouth, relaxing our ears, breathing into our belly, and we're just gonna inhale through the nose, hold it for a few seconds, and then an exhale. One more time. Inhale. And an exhale. Because I really believe you have to get your mind in the place to receive a message, and we can't do that if our mind is scattery and jittery and all over the place. Like, I already feel much more centered after just that brief exercise. It's almost as though people are onto something when they say meditation is helpful. Who knew? Okay. So our first question here is from Mimi. She says, I'm 20 and I've known this guy since I was 14 and just starting high school. He was totally my high school fuckboy, but I never took his shit and I told him to screw off a lot of times. He moved to Florida 3 years ago, and since then we built a pretty solid friendship. And I'm growing a lot as a person. I'm resolving some issues that I had, some daddy issues, and cutting out all of these alleged guy friends who I actually had a lot of feelings for. So a few months ago, I flew down to visit him for a few days because I just needed to get out of New York for a while. He's really growing into an alpha male, but I really emasculated him romantically and sexually back then. I want to fix that, but I also have much more personal growth to do. How can I do both simultaneously? So I hear a lot of conflicting things in this question, right? First of all, let's break down what you're saying. You're saying, I refused to put up with shit from a bad guy and boundaries, ironically, that probably helped him grow because he got the memo that his behavior simply was not okay. But now I feel bad about that. I would like to unwind all of that. I would like to undo that progress to my own detriment and also to his. Sometimes when I get confused about a situation or a question, I put it in a different context. I copy and paste it into a different scenario to kind of snap it into focus. So imagine if you're I'm a personal trainer and I told my client they couldn't have pizza and they are now really fit and really thin and happy, but I feel really guilty that I never let them have pizza. So I'm going to order 50 pizzas to their house and also 50 pizzas to my house because I have to eat all that pizza too because I feel guilty. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Right? What kind of backwards motion is this? Another conflicting thing I hear is you said you cast all these alleged guy friends out of your life. Well, no, you didn't. You just moved out the B-listers and made room for the king of the fuckboy semi-friend are we or aren't we guy, right? Look, I don't have sexual tension with Becca, Diane, and Megan. I don't message a YouTube dating coach about my female friends because I don't feel dating about them. I don't feel sexually. I feel neutrally. They're my friends. You don't feel neutrally about this guy. I say all the time, you can lie to your friends. You can lie to me. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Whatever you want and however you feel is valid. It might not be realistic to achieve, but it's valid. And like I always say, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. And if you're telling yourself you just want to be friends with this guy, girl, you are in for a world of hurt. You are in for being 14 all the fuck over again. All this progress, gone. All of this growth, gone. You're going to get right back there, right? But maybe that's kind of why you want to do it. Maybe that's why you're pursuing this guy so hard. Because I have a feeling that these boundaries you put up, you say when you were young, weren't quite as intense as you want to believe that they were. I mean, are they ever? When we're teenagers and certainly when we like a guy, because look, you did definitely like him. You wouldn't have referred to him as a fuckboy if you didn't have feelings there, right? You only see people in terms of fuckboy or good guy if you have romantic feelings. Like, you don't categorize like random dudes who you have no attraction to under these terms. The opposite of love isn't hate, it's apathy. And calling someone a fuckboy is not apathetic. So you got to get straight with yourself on that level, right? And like, yeah, I don't think you put up quite as many boundaries as you wish you had. And so you're trying to turn a hoe to a housewife. Because if you can do that, your theory, subconsciously, because you're not connecting to it, is, well, then all of those humiliating incidents, all of those insults, all of the times that I interacted with him at the detriment to myself, they weren't just painful points going into a void, adding up to nothing. They were adding up to something. They were adding up to a relationship. They were part of a larger story that now I don't have to feel so bad about. Because look, it led to something good. And maybe you're thinking, okay, maybe if it's not me dating him, it's adding up to his growth. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your goddamn mind? When did we as women decide that the acceptable price for a man's growth is our pain? Well, hey, that's just the collateral damage. I am the road he stomps along on his way up to enlightenment. Who is doing that for you? What man has that attitude towards us? They don't. They absolutely don't, right? So why have we decided this is how we're going to view ourselves, that we're going to subjugate ourselves like this, that great men have to come on our backs? They're going to stand on our shoulders and crush us to dust in the process. No. Because you know what, baby girl? At the end of the day, if you putting up boundaries for a fuckboy, let's say you did put up all these amazing boundaries. Good, I hope you did. If you did, and if he interprets someone saying, no, I don't tolerate that behavior in my life, if he interprets that as emasculation, then that is on him. That is not your problem to fix. Like I said in one of my recent videos, if we treat something like it's so fragile, ooh, it's so fragile, I have to handle it, then that is proof positive. We gotta let it break. We gotta let it break. Because who's treating you with that kind of fragility? Who is handling you like you're a precious, rare object? Not this guy. He lives in Florida, where all fuckboys go home to roost, right? So you need to stop taking steps backward. You're not friends with him. You need to move forward and away from this man and away from Florida. Okay, so Kendall submitted this question and she's feeling left out and excluded from her peers. And I know you guys deal with that a lot. I mean, we all do. At any age, that's the bad news. Good news is I can fix it. Okay, she says, I'm an acting major at my school. Within my program, I feel very excluded. Most of my life, I felt excluded or as if I didn't belong, like barely any friends, no guys asking me out. I'm really nice to everyone, but I also know my worth. Apparently, a lot of people do like me. I've had peers tell me how beautiful and talented I am. Some have even said that I'm underappreciated in our program, that I'm the most talented in our class. I assume people are intimidated, but I don't understand. People stare at me but never approach me. Like, guys are in awe and some girls have the evil stare. So what can I do about this? Okay, so one thing I think we as humans, and especially women, do when we don't want to accept that maybe we have a hand in our negative outcomes is to say everyone is jealous. Everyone's jealous of me. There's always going to be a sector of the population that is jealous of you. It's like a statistical certainty, right? But by and large, if you have the consistent outcome in one way or another, who's the common denominator, right? It's you. And you're like, yeah, I know, because everyone's jealous. No, I don't think that's it. It's important to remember that the foundation of friendship isn't like talent. It's not like a merit-based system. It's not a talent show or a beauty competition. Friendship is about connection. Like, the most beautiful people in the world have friends. Jennifer Lopez has friends. Giselle has friends. I have friends. You know what I mean. But like, that's the foundation. It's not like, well, I just have to be friends with the most beautiful person I can, but unless they're too beautiful, then I don't want to be friends with them. It's like, that's not how people are going into this. You know, we do ourselves a disservice if we say that it's because, oh, well, everyone else is jealous. That means everyone else is the problem and I'm perfect. That isn't true in any situation in our lives. It simply isn't. It's not true that everyone at your company is an idiot and you're the only competent one. That's probably not true. It's not true that like everyone is just so jealous of you and you're fantastic. Like, it's probably not true. So what can you do, right? You have to kind of like decide to lead with empathy and vulnerability first, because if you go in with this standoffish attitude, it's like everyone is obsessed with me to the point that they can't speak to me. Okay, well, you're gonna get that half right. People aren't gonna speak to you because you're not putting out a vibe of being inviting at all. Like, charm is warmth and warmth is accessibility, right? And accessibility means you're opening up. You're sharing personal stories. You're asking people about their lives and you're being a good listener. That is how we cultivate friends. Not by like, I killed that Shakespearean monologue. Hello, where are all my friends? Like, friends aren't the reward we get for achievements. They like are the achievements. They're the things that we achieve and then other rewards come in our lives because we have used these friends to learn how to interact with others and to be confident, have self-worth, help other people. Like, friends are the roots. They are the absolute roots of our lives. So you kind of might have already shot yourself in the foot in terms of this program. Like, if you have this sort of like queenie attitude, people might have already made up their mind about you and it can be difficult to like undo that, but it's not impossible. So what you need to do is start making friends outside of this program, right? You need to get out of there and go do something maybe you're not the best at, Empress. You know, like, go out there, like, join a little volleyball team, like join a knitting circle or something. Like, do something that maybe you aren't going to be the absolute best at. And that's going to shake you up a little bit. And it's going to force you to connect with people on a personality level, right? Not just like, I'm going to hide behind my talents. I'm going to hide behind my beauty. Because that's not getting you anywhere. Like, for your entire life, that's the path you've taken and it's not yielding the results you want. So it's time to switch it up. You keep doing what you're doing, you're gonna keep getting what you're getting, right? And when you make friends in this outside environment, you're gonna feel more confident, and then you're gonna take that confidence and simply those like lessons on how to be a good friend, and you're gonna take them back into your program. And you're gonna have simply more practice. You're gonna be well-versed in talking to people, in opening up. Tell me about your weekend. Oh my gosh, that's so funny, I blah, blah, blah. You're gonna have more like friendship notches on your belt, basically. So, don't think about boys for right now. You need to work on making friends because there is no one on planet Earth who is going to be a good girlfriend if they aren't a good girlfriend to their female friends. Like, friends teach us everything about life. And making friends truly is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So give yourself time. Try to talk to one new person a week, just one. Get involved in a bunch of different stuff and really focus on making those female connections over the boys, because until you do, you're never going to have that romantic life that you want. So Kristin submitted this question and she said, my family just does not get me. For too long now, I've been criticized for being too open about my feelings and my mental health issues. I have two younger sisters and we really used to be so close. We've been through so much, but now one of them has fallen out with me because I feel like she didn't really support me when I was feeling suicidal. And now she says she doesn't want to have a relationship with me because I had a panic attack at her wedding reception and she can't forgive me. How do I move on? What about family gatherings? It hurts because they don't get the black hole that I've had to crawl out of, and I want a relationship with these people. So, oh man. So I'm super proud of her for going through all of these mental health issues, right? And coming out the other side. But it's important to realize that your family went through a lot too. And for them, it was like being a passenger in an out of control car. And they're ready to get out. They're ready to get off this roller coaster. They're ready to get off the ride, you know? And hopefully you are too, right? So it's so painful for them and exhausting to watch people self-destruct. And you know what? they really, at the end of the day, couldn't do anything to help you. And that is the human condition. We can be there, we can be supportive, but like at the end of the day, everyone's got to help themselves. No one is riding in to save you from anything. Not a guy, not a parent, not a friend. We got to dig deep and do that work on our own. The only people who can save us are therapists because they're giving us the toolbox to save ourselves, really. So I dealt with like very similar issues. You know, I was like suicidal ideation. I was a cutter. I was a big fucking depressive drama queen. And yeah, people took a lot of steps back from me. You know, I was a real drain and I was tiring for everyone. And honestly, I was just really selfish. I was really selfish. It was always my pain. It was always Shallon's crisis. God forbid someone needed something from me. Oh, no. No one else was allowed to have a bad day. No one else was allowed to be in a spiral. It was always me. I was the mayor of Sad Town, right? And yeah, people like took steps back and like, it hadn't even occurred to me that people might need me, you know? So once I looked that in the face after I was feeling better and I had done the work to feel better, then I could start to repair those relationships. Cause like real talk, I don't blame your sister for being mad at you. At her wedding, like she probably wanted to have a panic attack, but no. It was Kristin's fiasco, guys. Don't worry. It's Kristin's day to have a meltdown. Not me, the bride. No. It's my sister. She gets to have her moment in the sun. And that might have just been the last straw for her. And the thing about last straws is we never really know. We never know when that straw is coming. Because when we're depressed or we're going through something, like, again, we're very selfish and we're very myopic. And when people try to give us hints that like, hey, we're all kind of reaching the end of our rope here, we interpret that as abandonment. How dare you not want to listen to me cry for 4 hours on a Saturday night? How dare you? How the fuck dare we? How dare we? Right? And look, I've had to get real clear with myself on this issue, real clear, because I was this person for a really long time. So with your sister, go back to her from that point of view. Validate how she feels. Validate how your parents probably feel. Tired, over it, helpless, just kind of done. And then validate it, apologize, and then get back to a dynamic that has nothing to do with your mental health. Take up a new hobby together. Start watching football. Go ice skating like you used to. Bake, redecorate the house, something. Get back to something that isn't just focused on you and your needs, you. Like, if that's what you feel like you need, you got to turn inward and get that yourself, girl. You know, like we can't expect to keep wringing all of this connection out of people who have their own lives and stuff they're going through, you know? No one is going to save us from ourselves. And like, I also had to get real with myself about how much I enjoyed being the victim. And like, it gave me power over people and it gave me purpose. It gave me almost like a reason to get up in the morning. Oh, I got to get up today and victimize myself. It gave me a storyline, right? The time has now come to change that storyline, and you can change it. That's the gift and the curse, though. Only you can change it. So it's about filling your life with positive, healthy things so that you can go back to your family and be like, I don't need you guys to be therapists anymore. You can just be my mom. You can just be my dad. Because look, my life is filled, it's whole, it's healthy. I'm taking steps on my own. So no one has to rescue anyone else here. I can just be me and you can just be you. And we can start to rediscover each other as whole, healthy, happy individuals. So Erica submitted this question. She said, I've been dating this guy for 2 months. Everything went great until we went on a trip for 3 days. And I really started questioning my feelings, like losing attraction for him. Why am I having a sudden shift in my thoughts? Is this a sign that I really didn't like him in the first place? I think I should end it because I really want to prioritize my own happiness. I'm 22 and I don't have much experience with dating. So my question is this like normal? Should I feel like this with the right person? Is it normal to go back and forth like this? I'm thinking some days I want to be together, but other days definitely not. Help. Girl, I feel you. I remember so clearly, like it was yesterday, asking one of my like older sorority sisters basically this exact same question. Like, is it normal to be physically repulsed by the person you're dating? And she's like, no. But I phrased it like, is it okay to be nervous around them? She's like, oh yeah, like I was nervous until we had sex for the first time. I'm like, oh shit, I don't want to have sex with him at all. That's probably a bad sign. So I also believe that mini breaks, like if you ever like read or watched Bridget Jones' Diary, she's like, a mini break means true love. And a mini break really will push your relationship in whatever direction it's already going in. Like if you go away for 3 days and you come back like crazy in love, you were already heading down that path. But vice versa, like if you spend 3 solid days together and you're like, I don't want you touching me with those fingers. I want to throw up if I have to watch you eat chicken wings. That's kind of where things were going to head. And like, I have learned that the ick is real and the ick is poison. The ick, I've talked about this before, is that overwhelming feeling of blech, blech, that you get when you are trying to make yourself like a guy that, girl, you just don't. And the ick is not an ugly person's disease. It is not an ugly man's disease. I have gotten the ick almost exclusively for very attractive guys. Oh, don't worry. The dumpy, balding dipshits I was like completely sexually obsessed with for 10 years. Don't worry about that. But like the handsome former Abercrombie models, I was like, get away from, you're sitting too close to me. But this is why it's called chemistry. You can't engineer it. It just is what it is. And if you try to force this dynamic, if you try to force yourself into a situation, it gets worse. And then you start getting mean because you're in this state of like insane cognitive dissonance where like you're in a state where you don't want to be in and it doesn't match this, like the mental state you do want to be in. So you're just like, like in this tense nightmare spiral. He doesn't understand what's going on because he's just trying to be nicer and nicer to you and you're just getting more and more nauseated by his niceness. It's bad all the way around. It's not good for anyone. And you know what? It does not change. The ick is terminal. So if you feel it, you get out. You don't have to, you don't owe anyone an explanation. Like I said, I've gotten the ick for amazing dudes and it's like, I didn't owe anyone like a dossier of evidence about why I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't. I needed to release him back to the wild, not only for my sake, but for his. Like, if he's a good dude, like he deserves better than to have some girl lashing out at him for the next 6 months until she like cowboys up and leaves. So, long answer to a short question, no. It isn't normal to feel like some days you just do not want to be with someone. Like, you feel, annoyed sometimes. Like, oh my God, he brought a full pizza onto a plane again. Okay. But this sense of like, I don't physically want to be near you. I don't want you to kiss me. I don't want you to touch me. No, that's not normal. So while it is normal to want your space from someone, that's healthy. You want to be independent. You shouldn't be spending 7 nights a week over there. If it's like a issue, keep it moving, girl. Everyone deserves better. Well, that's it for the podcast this week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you want to submit a question of your own, like I said, head to my website, shallonlester.com, and also be sure to follow me on Instagram at ShallonXO, where I let you weigh in on the next video topic and suggest some really cool topics. You guys are idea machines, and I love you for it. Thank you. And I'll talk to you later, guys. Have a good one.